channel, everybody. I am excited today because I've got Montana here, and Montana works for a company, Florida Kayak Tours. And Montana and I have met in the past, and we've discussed doing a video just to share her love of the kayak tours and the Manatees and the Silver Springs area, as well as introduce her company to you because they've got some really great options for people to either go on tours, to rent their own canoes or kayaks, do group tours. So Montana, welcome to the channel. We really appreciate your time, and we're going to have a discussion about Florida Kayak Tours. So welcome aboard.
Hi, thank you for having us. We're excited to be a part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. So Montana, we met about a month ago over at Sawgrass Grove, and I'm really excited to introduce the public to what you're doing because I could really feel the passion that you have for what you do and the ecological nature of the tours that you put together. So let's talk about Florida Kayak Tours. How long has that business been around?
So, the owner of the company he's done this for around 18 years, and he is a UF naturalist. So he focuses on conservation and education through fun and learning experience. He's a great mentor to all of his guides and really cares about, bringing, forward like the message of, healing through nature and enjoying what your natural surroundings are.
And you've been with the company for a number of months now. And when we talked, it was evident how much you love doing what you do. So tell me a little bit about why you're with the company and what your position is.
So I am the manager with Kayak in Florida, and I went to school at the University of Tennessee for wildlife and fisheries and soil science. And I met our owner at Silver Springs and really just kind of fell in love with his business ethic. And he stood out because, they carried the boats for people, which is a big thing nowadays. So I joined the company and then realized that the love for conservation was evident throughout this entire company. And I mean, I get to spend every day with manatees or monkeys, and I mean, that's not something a lot of people get to say they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm going to zip over to your website real quickly, just have a look at it because I know there's tons of information here. So this is floridakayaktours.com. And you can see there's a home section, a gallery section, and a contact section. The one thing that I really want to make everyone understand is that for the best pricing on these tours, it's best to go through this website. You will find their tours on third-party sites, but if you really want to get personal with the ownership and the people that are putting on the tours, it's best to call this 407-205-3631 or reach out to them by email. All the information's in the contact section here to get in touch with Montana and the people. So that's the best way to do it. When we go to the home site here, we do see that there are different types of tours. There's the kayak tours, the clear kayak tours, which would be really cool. The self-guided clear kayak tours. There's the kayaking tours and paddle boat adventures, as well as Manatees of Silver Springs State Park Kayaking, Florida. You and I have had a small discussion about the different types of tours that you do. So let's just go through sort of the one that sort of stands out the most to you.
It looks like we were, oh goodness, I'm so sorry. I don't know what just happened.
I'm here.
Cut out. Okay. So looks like that site is, I don't know, for whatever reason, have not updated, but our Blue Springs Manatee Tour is no longer being offered just because Blue Springs does not allow other contractors in their park anymore. So the only one we're offering is our Silver Springs 2-hour Manatee Monkey Tour, or a 4-hour full experience, full river tour that tends to be booked more for private groups.
Right. And so that's just sort of an interesting point because you do these tours at the Silver Springs State Park. right?
We
So
do.
you work in conjunction with the state park to do these tours. They allow you to come and do them, and it's wonderful because the state park has so much to offer, and you have the ability to take advantage of that state park and offer these tours for people.
Absolutely. It's our favorite place in the world. We spend most of our time there, whether we're on shift or off shift. It was Silver Springs is part of Florida history, and we're happy to be a part of it and to spread the message in a in a fun way.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the 2 hour tour that you do. Give me a little idea of what that entails.
So we do a 2 hour loop. So we that means we launch and get off at the same spot. It's very, very beginner friendly, and we focus on the wildlife and history of Silver Springs. We um we tend to have some secrets, areas that we know that wildlife hang out. So we bring guests to those spots and then even show them some underwater ancient artifacts that they would never know would normally exist at Silver Springs unless they had a guide.
Yeah, that's really cool. So that tour, how big a group would you take out at one time?
Our tours we try to keep it under 12 people. Um, we would never give a guide more than 12 people without another guide, just because we like to focus on the safety.
Hmm.
But we are focused on quality over quantity. So we sometimes break our groups up into different time slots so
Hmm.
they can get the best experience possible.
That's great. And right now it's an amazing time at the state park because it's manatee time, right?
Yes, we November through March we have a lot of manatees that hang out in the springs because it's warmer in the springs than it is outside of them, and we get the pleasure of getting to know those manatees and spending most of our days with them.
That's amazing. So the tour that you do, the 2 hour tour, you get to see the manatees, and you also said something about monkeys. I didn't realize that there were monkeys in the state park.
Yeah, it is one of the major draws to Silver Springs because they were released in that park. And so we often are visited by monkeys and manatees, even some gators and turtles hang out as well. Of
Yeah,
course, safe distance. So
that's awesome.
nothing's going to bother you.
So do you offer these tours daily, or is it, 2 or 3 times a week? How does that work?
So we run 7 days a week. And we have three time slots for those tours. It's 9:30, 12:30, and 1:30.
Okay.
So you have a few different options every day.
Is there a better time slot that works for seeing things? Are they all pretty much you're going to see the manatees and the monkeys at 9:30 or 1:30? Doesn't really depend on when you go.
Well, thankfully we have pretty good luck throughout all three tours of seeing wildlife, but I always tell people that the earlier they get there, the less people is going to be on the water because people are on vacation and don't want to get up early.
Yeah.
And then you might have a little more intimacy with nature than you would at 12:30 or 1:30.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that the cost for that tour, like when we talked, it's pretty reasonable. You like $75 per person for a 2 hour tour is,
Yes, and
way
we
cheaper than
also
going to Disney or Epcot or something like that, right?
exactly, and we also offer a kids special. So if you have a child under 10 years old, we offer that for $50.
Wow. Yeah, that's fantastic. So what other options would people have if they decided that they wanted to give you a call and it wasn't a 2 hour tour they want? Maybe they had a little bit more experience in kayaking or they want some independence or they just don't want to be in a group. What other options would they have?
Well, we have all of the boats that are available on tour are also available for rentals. So we have a clear kayak, which gives you a completely see-through kayak to go and explore the crystal clear water. So you feel like you're in a aquarium with that. And then we
That's
also
cool.
have some sit on top options, and that's for people who they don't really care whether they have a clear kayak or not. They just want to rent some equipment, and those are reasonably priced. We have top of the line equipment, so all of our stuff is very well taken care of,
Yeah.
and we provide all gear. So life jackets, paddles, and dry bags are included with all those rentals.
And that's you rent those out, I think it's 2 hours at a time we talked about.
It is 2 hours at a time, and we also have paddle boards um, as well. As it starts to get warmer, people like to paddle board and we've got quite a few options.
Right. So the video that we're doing right now, we're February 15th, 2024. These videos live forever online. So part of the pricing that we talked about, if you're going to do a 2-hour rental, it's $45. A clear kayak was $90, and then the tandem was $55, and that was per person, right?
No, that is not per person. We do those per boat.
Per
And that
boat.
tandem, the difference between the clear and the tandem is one is clear and one is not.
Right.
So the clear boat does hold 2 people, and our tandem holds 2 people as well. It's just one you're sitting on top of it, not clear, and then the other one you're sitting down inside of it.
Right. And if you're going to have a real great experience, I would opt for the clear just because it's going to be so fascinating to see what's right underneath you.
Absolutely. It's a very popular option. And
Okay.
we list all the boats on our website, as well as weight limits and age requirements, because certain boats do have certain limits, and some of those include age and weight.
Oh, that's great. So it sounds like you've got great options for people for a small day trip out of into Florida, into the Silver Springs area, because you can go to the kayaking tour for a couple hours, but then you can go and visit the state park if you wanted to, or you could go for a drive and visit some other things. So it's not like you're there for the whole day. It's you get in, you see a wonderful experience with you guys and your tour guides, but then you don't kill your whole day either, right?
Right. And another thing that kind of sets us apart is we take a lot of pictures and videos while you're on tour. So we don't want you to come and live behind the screen of your phone. We want you to take everything in. So our favorite hobby is taking pictures of the wildlife around us and the guests that are experiencing these once in a lifetime opportunities.
Oh, that's really cool. And then you just email them those photos, you arrange to get them to them.
Yeah, we always set up the best way to get it for them, whether it's social media or a text message, depending on what works best for guests.
Yeah, that's fabulous. All right, so let's go back to it's floridakayaktours.com,
Yes.
and that's the best website to go to, and I'll put that in the links here for people to get to. Um, Montana, you've been a wonderful guest. We really appreciate your time, and I hope that we can drum up a lot of business for you and your company, because it's just such a great thing to do. And I look forward to getting out on the water with you and seeing myself some monkeys and some manatees. That would be just fabulous.
Well, we look forward to that as well.
Okay, awesome. Thanks again, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too.